This has been long overdue for a long time. So this area is large, but it's just not large enough for the F250. I could get it in here if I have to, but it's crammed and it wouldn't be very comfortable. Turns out that the lift, while it works really good over here, it does take up some space. And to show you just how big that F250 is, this is a Yukon XL and it fits in here just fine. It can go on the lift, no problem. But the F250 is a different beast. So we're gonna have to work on it on the other side of the shop. This is what I got the bigger shop for options. So I'll be able to open up all 4 doors over there and do whatever I need to do. It's just a little bit more of a walk, and you know, I could use the steps, so I don't mind. So let's head over there to the other side and see what we're working with. Yep. If you watched the last video, we busted a hole in the wall. Now we got this extra special spot over here on this side. Yeah, we're doing it though. Very cool. Yes, sir. Here we go.
Turn the bass up and the road noise down with Damplifier from Second Skin Audio. Damplifier kills structural noise by damping the vibration energy of your car's metal. Stop the vibrations, stop the noise.
I've been meaning to make some of these changes for a long time. I just haven't been able to get around to it. I always say this, I always make this disclaimer. The shop gets real busy in between some of these videos, and before you know it, things get swept under the rug and they never get done. And the system in there sounds good, so I wasn't in a big hurry to change it out. But now we're gonna upgrade some power, make it a little stronger, a little bit more slap. Let's see what's all in here now. In case you forgot, many years ago we did this system. We got the Gately audio box. We got the 6B2 audio, 6.5s. We got the audio control DM810 processor, optical in. We got the old school SMD split block. We're gonna change that for a more modern one, but of course there's nothing wrong with it. The wires are all super tight still to this day. B2 audio reference 4-channel. And nothing over here really, but you can see everything's nice and organized. Still looking good, still playing good. And that's one of the original boxes. I know that he's upgraded them several times. They're probably on version 20, and that might be version 3. So even the box that I want to put in here is outdated. It's probably version 10 out of like 20 or more. But I've been wanting to put it in for a long time, so we're gonna put it in. We're gonna ride around, we're gonna bump it for a while, and then we're gonna replace the box again with another Gately box, an even better one, a newer version that has more support on the sides, a better way to mount it in place. They've evolved so much since these boxes were first built. I'm pretty sure we gotta do a little short little seat lift, then we'll be brand new again. And of course, depending on how much power I decide to put in here, we're gonna have to upgrade the alternator and some of the power wires as well. And we still got the B2 audio. 2500.1, and of course we can't forget the SMD QR1's still working great after all these years. This one we actually put the cup in the car and put the plug on the box with a little pigtail so the box can come out, and boom, you're back in business again. So as we take this stuff out and replace them with some different amps, it's not like there's anything wrong with these amps kicked ass for many years, and they still will continue to kick ass in another ride. It's just we're ready for a little bit more power now and a couple little changes. We're going to keep the B2 audio subs, and of course it's got B2 audio reference 3-way highs in the front. Seriously, there's something to be said for a car audio brand when you put the system in your ride and 6, 7, 8 years later you want to change to something else, but you really don't have to because it's all still working. It's not giving me any problems. So props to B2 Audio for having a solid product. Everything's still playing all these years later.
Gelato, you did.
So as you can see, it's all playing nice. But we want a little bit more power. We want to bump that shit just a little bit harder. It still sounds lovely, no complaints here. See if you can hear this over my camera phone. If you're new to my channel, you might be wondering, why would somebody want a neo-magnet terminal cup like that? I'm about to show you why. If you've got a large system in your vehicle and your box is built in, you don't need these. But for people that want to pull their box out for one reason or another, for any reason, strollers, golf clubs, whatever, that's what it's good for. But in our case, I just unhooked it. Look at that. So everything looks like it's in perfect condition after all these years. B2 Audio logo's rubbing off on a couple of them a little bit. No big deal, the dust caps are still around. Boxes could have touched them. I don't think any feet have touched them, but if they did, it didn't hurt them. But things are in the back seat on the floor moving around. Grills are always a good idea, but we did all right. Let the B2 Audio 6.5s are out. All I got left to do is go in there and start pulling the old amps out. Bring the new box in. Actually, I need to bring it down and see what the impedance is on it. I forgot, it's been a while. And then I'll decide which amps are actually gonna push them. Oh yeah. Yep, 4 B2 Audio 8s. These subs absolutely shred in this Gately Audio box. It's a long time coming putting these in, I know, but at least we're doing it. I'm gonna have to get the forklift, bring this pallet down. I am up in the air right now. Okay, that thing is out. Of course, we're gonna pull this amp rack out. Don't really want to, but it's time. I mean, this thing was never really terribly complicated anyways. We're talking about a 4-channel and a monoblock on the subs. So while I'm unbolting this, let me tell you a couple things about this amp. I love it. I think it sounded great and no disappointment at all. But there's a couple things that are annoying. And one of them is I need 3 different Allen wrenches to undo these wires. It's not really B2 Audio's fault, but the other thing is they're aimed downwards. So when this was in there, there's like zero troubleshooting I could do at all. There's buttons, there's wires, there's RCAs, everything's on the bottom. And it has nothing to do with B2 Audio, it has everything to do with my install. But that was pretty annoying. Other than that, this thing sounded great and still sounds good as I take it out. This thing is a work of art. I don't think they make these anymore. I'm pretty sure they don't. I don't know, but damn. One of the other things that used to bug me a little bit about this system is the mismatch. I like my system to kind of have matching things, but I really wanted that reference 4 in there. Trusty snap-on died. Had to switch over to the Milwaukee. Should have done that a long time ago. The system is out officially. So we're left with a nice clean slate. The only thing I left in here was the original 1/0 cable, positive and negative. We got the speaker wires that go to the front doors that are still in there, the B2 Audio reference 3-ways, and the optical cable coming from up front, and a little remote. Other than that, we got a clean slate to start with. I'm really not planning on going nutty with this thing. 5,000 watts on the subs, maybe a little bit more, and a nice clean mids and high amp. This is actually my wife's truck. I built it for her, and I want her to enjoy it. It does not need to be a bass machine, but she does love her beats. And if you want to see what I do, stay tuned, and yeah, we'll eventually get her done. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but we'll get her done. And with that, I'm out.